What's good, everyone? OJ here. Welcome back to another video. Today, I'm going to be going over my best announcements for the Nintendo Direct that went down recently. Now, I will have a separate video focusing in on a couple of the games that we're going to talk about here with like the super hype or the breaking of the extreme excitement, the box that I got from Nintendo. But I will go over just overall what I thought about the show grade, and some of the announcements here because it was a pretty good Direct. So starting off, we've got Fatal Frame, Maiden of Black Water coming to the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series of Systems, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC. So nearly 10 systems when you think about it overall, with the different configurations of the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One and the series and all that, plus Switch, PC, PS5, PS4. This is very good to see this game because now this gives this game a chance, an opportunity, the franchise more like it, to become something in the new age. This is one of the better Fatal Frame games, and they're adding in new costumes and a photo mode as well. So for people who haven't got a chance to play Fatal Frame, or for the fans that want to support the game and hopefully the franchise continues with Koei Tecmo at the helm, Nintendo's copyright for the game seemingly has ended. So therefore, it's just Koei Tecmo on this one. This is good because it's never been a huge seller. Now you have multiple platforms to sell this game on that the majority of people, gamers out there, have not played. So it doesn't really matter. That's a port of a game. It's a new game for many people out there. So if you're into horror games, you like a nice little story kind of wrapped up in there with some creepy moments, then Fatal Frame Maiden of Black Water is for you. The game was great on the Wii U when it originally released, and now we're getting it on the Switch and other platforms as well. So this is a very good thing. Now this game will launch in 2021, so we don't know exactly when, but it is coming out this year. It originally launched back in September 2014 on the Wii U, so very good announcement there. Now next up is an announcement that I'm extremely excited about. I loved this announcement, and that's Advance Wars 1+2 RE Reboot Camp is coming. This is a ground up remake of the original Advanced Wars 1 and 2. This was a dormant or dead IP. I told you guys in my video that I said Nintendo has to bring back at least one dormant or dead IP in this Nintendo E3 Direct, and they did that with Advance Wars and remakes. Be it that all new remakes, they're gonna have new features built into there. Man, this is definitely something that I like to see. There is going to be 2 campaigns with the game. You have your commanding troops versus mode, 4 players and all of that. So very good to see. Customizing your combat. It's the classic Advance Wars brought back for the new age, and this franchise has been dead, has been dormant for like 20 years. It's been like a long time. Not quite 20 years, but it's been gone for a while. The last time that we saw it, I mean, I know there's like the Battalion Wars and stuff like that, some of the other games that were kind of like the spin-off for type of game that it is, but like the real Advanced Wars. So good to see this back, so good to see the animation, so good to see them just kind of bring back the flavor and style of what we had on the GBA, because I used to play the heck out of these games on the Game Boy Advance, and now they're coming back on the Switch this year. And this is a reoccurring theme with a lot of the Switch games and a lot of the stuff that was announced for the Nintendo Switch. It's this year with gameplay. They were all gameplay trailers, and they were all this year, and that's what made this Direct very good for me personally, was the amount of 2021 games and gameplay heavy focus. So very good to see that. That's going to be launching on December 3rd. Now, moving on to a little bit of a surprise, but not so surprising announcement, we have WarioWare Get It Together, a brand new game coming to the Nintendo Switch. Nintendo put out a survey talking about WarioWare recently, and I guess it was kind of foreshadowing what was going on, but now we have a very different type of WarioWare game coming to the system. It's called WarioWare Get It Together, like I stated before, and it's launching on September 10th. And I did want to go over a little bit of this because this is a different style. So this is what Nintendo says about the game. Micro game mayhem comes to the Nintendo Switch system. Take on over 200 quick and quirky micro games, lightning fast mini games filled with frantic fun, solo or with a friend. When his latest harebrained business scheme goes awry, Wario must use his signature style and smell to fix it. How? By playing a twisted collection micro games, of course, from assembling a robot to pulling out a statue's armpit hair. The WarioWare Get It Together game is a comedic cooperative micro game mashup. So there you go, guys. So you have some cooperative play on there, local wireless. I don't think there is a online mode for this game, but there is a story mode, and you do have a bunch of the Wario characters from that universe to play. So for all of you Wario fans that have been asking for a new WarioWare game, there you go. That one is coming in September 10th. Now, next up, we get into some more of the things that I'm like super like hype level excited for, and we have the man, the myth, the legend, Kazuya Mishima from Tekken, fighting his way to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And this was good because we have a villain and we have another character from a storied and historic fighting game franchise. Bandai Namco makes this game alongside with Nintendo and Sakurai, so it makes sense that they get one Bandai Namco fighting game character in there. They've got Pac-Man, but it's good to see my man Kazuya. I used to really get down back in the day with Tekken. Don't play Tekken as much anymore. I like to watch it on Twitch, but I've always been a big fan of the franchise. And back in the day, I'll tell you guys something, Tekken was a force of nature within the casual and fighting game communities with what it did on the PS1, man. Back then, Tekken 3 was like a revolution for fighting games, and I always remember playing a ton of Tekken 3 back in the day. So to see Kazuya, to see a rep from Tekken get into Super Smash Bros., that's awesome, because we already have Fatal Fury, we have Street Fighter, now we have Tekken. That's pretty good in its own right, and once again confirms that Super Smash Bros. Is the ultimate crossover for a fighting game. There's nothing better than Super Smash Bros. In my opinion. Now, Masahiro Sakurai will host a Mr. Sakurai Presents Kazuya presentation detailing the fighter on June 28th at 7 a.m. PT. That is 10 a.m. Eastern time. I will be streaming that for you guys, so there will probably be a release date for the character shortly after that, since it's not for a bit, right? It is going to be in a little bit here, so it's not like it's like this week or next week or whatever. So it seems like it'll probably release right after that presentation. So very good to see that. There's one character left, and I'm guessing that character is going to be somebody god tier. It's going to be like a Master Chief. It's going to be somebody big when it comes to that last character. So shout outs to Kazuya getting into Smash. Shout outs to the Tekken fans out there. This is definitely your day with that. Now, I did want to move into the next thing here, guys, and to be honest, this made me almost dislocate my finger. Like, this was the first thing, if you guys watched my video with the hype box that Nintendo sent me, this was the announcement that made me want to punch that thing, and I punched it, okay, and I dislocated just slightly my finger, but it's okay. I popped it back into place. It's fine, so everything's good. Metroid Dread, after 15 years of being rumored or whatever the case is, and after 20 years, a brand new 2D Metroid game is here. A new one, not a 2D Metroid game, because we had Samus Returns, but that was a remake of what we got, but a brand new 2D Metroid game. And guess what? Once again, this year, October 8th. I love the constant theme here of 2021, 2021, 2021. There's one game we'll talk about that's not, but we got to discuss that. I'm going to have a whole separate video, but we'll discuss it just a little bit here. But Metroid Dread, very good to see this game. Very happy to see this game. Love the theme of the game. Love the art. Love the graphics. Love everything about Metroid Dread. And you know what? It's been so long. This was like teased like in Metroid Prime 3 or something like that. It's been so long for this, man. So I'm very happy. So Nintendo and developer Mercury Steam, you guys know them. They're the ones who made Samus Returns, and also they're the ones who made the Castlevania Lords of Shadow franchise as well. So some of you guys might know about that. So Metroid Dread, October 8th. Let's go and let's get into a little bit about this game. I just want to talk about the story. And it says that Samus's story continues after the events of Metroid Fusion game when she descends upon planet ZDR to investigate a mysterious transmission sent to the Galactic Federation. The remote planet has become overrun by vicious alien life forms and chilling mechanical menaces. Samus is more agile and capable than ever, but can she overcome the inhuman threat stalking the depths of ZDR? Now, this is the unique hook with this game. It's this EMMI robots, and I like this about it adds a whole new flavor, almost like Metroid Fusion with the SAX, the parasite, kind of like the doppelganger of you walking around there and everything, but it's even more deadly here with what's going on. So it says face off against these. Once DNA extracting research machines, the imposing EMMI are now hunting Samus down. Tensions are high as you evade EMMI to avoid a cruel death while finding a way to take them down. Find out what turned these robotic wonders into the scourge of ZDR and escape with your life. Also, Samus has new moves and abilities. Acquire new and familiar abilities as you traverse the many environments of this dangerous world. Parkour over obstacles, slide through tight spaces, counter enemies, and battle your way through the planet. Return to areas to use your new abilities to find upgrades, alternate paths, and a way forward. Explore the spiraling map, evade and destroy the EMMI robots, and overcome the dread plaguing ZDR. So everything just kind of all fits in together, and this just blew my mind. I love everything about Metroid Dread, and I am going to play the heck out of this game when it launches on October 8th. Very good October game to have. I know some people were saying, oh, well, SMT5 should have been October. And I was saying, you don't know what else is coming out October. October is Metroid month. This is the time that Metroid fans should show up. It's not a remake. It's not a port. It's not a lower type of game. It's a full game Metroid, a new game for you guys. So I need to see this game sell like 50 million copies, because that's how Metroid fans be talking online. And I'm a Metroid fan myself. No, I'm joking with all that, but this game should do very well on the Nintendo Switch. The amiibo already sold out in an instant on there. So I think this is going to be a interesting and very good high quality game. Mercury Steam knows what they're doing there. Now for the next announcement here, this blew my mind. Once again, I think this is a reoccurring thing with something blowing my mind, but I can see why Nintendo and Atlas put this game in November. This is a true AAA RPG, Japanese RPG. What they've done with the Shin Megami Tensei franchise, to go from what they went with SMT3, to go with what they went even with Persona 5, SMT4, to what they're doing now at this point with open-ended areas, sliding down sand pathways, fighting enemies to where you actually see the demons on screen, fully rendered and detailed, looking beautiful in Unreal Engine 4. This is the evolution of the SMT game that I've always wanted. This shows that Atlas, yes, it took them a long time. Yes, we got annoyed with how quiet they've been, but man, was it worth it? Because the gameplay in this and the graphics in this game just look amazing. The English trailer was good, but the Japanese trailer was even better, and it showed off a bit more all of the different dynamics in the game, and like I said, the detail, some of the new enemies, and also some of the new attacks and things that you can do in there. This main character design, it reminds me of so many different things, almost like a little bit of a Xenoblade feel to this character. The long hair, the outfit that he's wearing, the just like the glow with the arm that he had with the sword. I mean, it is amazing. This is a game of the year quality type of game, in my opinion, from what I've seen. And I'm going to put well over 100 hours into this game. I already know. So it took them a long time, but man, was it worth it when it comes to it. That's coming out on November 11th in Japan and November 12th worldwide. So very good there. Very happy to see this game. And yes, I am buying it day one. This was maybe even, in terms of 2021 games, this is probably like my most hyped thing to play this year. Now, last but definitely not least, we've got some brand new footage and screenshots of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild sequel. It's launching in 2022. When Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild first came out, it did so many unique things, and so many developers and so many other publishers wanted to copy Breath of the Wild in terms of what they've done, right, with the gameplay and just how you traverse and how you do things in the open world. And for the sequel, people were asking me, do you think it's going to live up to it? And I'm like, yes. You know why? Because they're taking their time, they've been developing it, and because the Zelda team always tries new things. Even if they make a sequel to a game, they try different things, right? Like Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time to Majora's Mask. They even do new things in that. Or even if it's like a pseudo sequel, like A Link Between Worlds and A Link to the Past, right? So if you look at it, There's so many new things in this. They took essentially Skyward Sword and kind of what's going on there. They took Breath of the Wild and what's going on there and said, hey, let's just dump a bunch of time, effort, and money and put these two things together. Oh, by the way, we're going to go ahead and add new Sheikah Slate powers. Oh, by the way, we're going to go ahead and let you soar through the skies. Oh, by the way, we're going to go ahead and let you turn into water, then go through stuff like your Lemillion from My Hero. They added in so many different things with your arm and the fire cannon thing and what you can do. It is insane. Every other developer, when it comes to Legend of Zelda, just can't keep up with what they're doing in the open world. Because what I saw with the combat and what I saw with the two aspects from the sky to the ground and how that can have puzzles and even palaces or dungeons in the sky, then you go back towards the ground. There is so many possibilities with that, and I am very excited to play this game in 2022. We're gonna have to wait and see when it is, but man, it looks amazing. And they took the graphics in the game from Breath of the Wild and even made them better. The frame rate, from what I understand, obviously it's looking very good. The trailer runs at 60 frames per second, but we don't know if the game is going to run at 60. But if they somehow got this game to 60 frames per second as well, wow. But yes, the engine in terms of what they did on Switch is definitely running and looking better than what they did before on the cross-gen release with Wii U and Switch with Breath of the Wild. So very happy about this, and this is easily my most hyped and anticipated game for 2022. But we'll talk about some of these three games, especially the three that I talked about last. We'll talk about those in a separate video because I have some more that I want to say. But what are your thoughts about the Nintendo Direct? What's your overall grade? If I had to give it one, an overall grade, I'm going to go ahead and give it an 8.5 out of 10. It was missing a few things when it comes to like a new Monolith soft title or Bayonetta, for example. That would have been nice. We didn't get either one of those. Either one of those would have pushed it up higher for me, but we still have probably a Nintendo Direct later in the year like they do the fall directs. So I'm guessing that we might see a Monolith soft game or even Metroid Prime later at that time, Metroid Prime 4 or something on Bayonetta 3, because we need to get some more information on that game. But honestly, I thought that was a good, solid Direct with brand new announcements and multiple new game announcements that are coming out in 2021 with all these different games, Advance Wars and WarioWare, and the Mario Party game as well. I didn't talk about that, but the new Mario Party game, you have Kazuya in Smash, Metroid Dread this year, Shin Megami Tensei 5 this year. There's plenty of stuff for people to play in the second half, so very good there. And for those who want to know what I think about if Nintendo won E3 or anything like that, so this is always interesting, but I guess I can just sit there and say for me, it was definitely the best show because of so many like gameplay segments that we got with actual games that we're playing this year and games that I'm gonna spend a lot of time in. But I can understand for somebody who's more into like third-party games or whatever the case is, or more into shooters and all that, Xbox's show was definitely there. But I'll say this, I think that between Nintendo and Microsoft, it somewhat salvaged what E3 was, because I don't want just one good show with Xbox. I want multiple good shows, and there wasn't a lot of good shows. So I think that Nintendo probably saved E3. Microsoft held it up, but we needed somebody else to come in and save the whole thing. And I think that's what happened here with the Nintendo Direct, because these were some good announcements. Missing a few things here and there, but definitely some good announcements. And most of the stuff was 2021. And was also gameplay. Plus, there was some third-party announcements. The Life is Strange for people who like that. There's the Danganronpa games for people who like that. There is the Dragon Ball Kakarot for people who like that. The cloud version of Guardians of the Galaxy. So there was some third-party stuff mixed in there and more things as well. So what are your thoughts on this when it comes to the Nintendo Direct? What is your grade overall? What did you think about it? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Check out the links in the description. We've got Twitter. Go and give us a follow on there. Stay up to date on all the latest gaming news and information. Also, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video if you can. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you for the next one. Peace.